Hello. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make this paper. I actually made this a few days ago. I just pulled out a bunch of stamps and ink pads, and I just kind of played around with them, and then I used some of these chalks, and so I wanted to show you guys how I made these papers. They could be made into little tags like this. There we go. I'm going to show you some of the papers I chose. I chose this coffee dyed paper, and it's really grungy, as you can see all the pieces, but that will be covered up pretty much. It just adds more depth, I suppose. Anyways, I have some cardstock and some blue paper, and this is some vintage paper. It's actually from a book page. And then I'm also going to try this out, so we shall see what that will look like. Okay, so I'm going to start with this script stamp, and I'm going to just stamp my page with it, and I feel like this is a very forgiving craft, and so it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually like it a little bit lighter also in some places. Maybe I'll try this one. Whenever I see these shapes, it kind of reminds me of Italy, or like an Italian look, the swirls. And I like to make them go off the page too. I think that looks pretty good when it kind of... So anyways, kind of random. I'm kind of doing them randomly. Maybe I'll use a key next. Maybe go up here. Okay, let's see what else is missing. You know what, I'm going to use this stamp. This is a vintage stamp. I used to work in a warehouse, and our company bought out the previous one. So this was an old stamp that we were getting rid of, and I hung on to it. And it's funny because now I see them all over Etsy, all these vintage stamps, and I just like vintage, I suppose, and so that's why I hung on to it. But it's kind of cool to use in crafting. So I kind of like the way those numbers look. Here's another vintage stamp I have from when I used to work in a warehouse. And I really like this one to be neutral, so I think I'm kind of done with it now. I think I'll, let's see. What else can I use? Maybe I will add some chalking. Okay, so I have these little guys. So I'm just adding a little bit of chalk. I find it very forgiving. I really, really like working with chalk to add some color or more dimension to my pages. Even if they are neutral, I think that they still kind of add a little bit of extra. Let's see. And it's very soft, so it takes building up. It's just one of those things that you just add on top of each other, and that's how the color comes. It's kind of I don't know, it takes time, I guess, and it can be relaxing unless you're like trying to get things done quickly. Then you're like, you know, you might want to work with a different medium then, but I really like chalk. Let's try this one. I haven't really used these guys that much. I kind of use my I'll show you. This is the chalk that I usually use. You can see how much I used. My son helps me with this. He likes breaking them all to pieces. And yeah, he kind of has fun with them. Sometimes when he's bored, he'll come and join me. And another good thing to keep in mind when you're working with chalks is that you can take an eraser and erase. Like if you went over the marks, let me show you. Yeah, I didn't have an eraser ready, so I actually had to go grab one from my daughter's pencil, from my daughter's little pencil pouch. So basically it's pretty forgiving. You can just erase it off, see? And I like the way it fades out a little bit. I think it kind of just adds to the look. I like it. I used one of my older ink pads, which is a little bit dried out, but I still like to use that one because it doesn't always give me a really strong impression. So, I don't know, I kind of like the way it works for me. Sometimes you just kind of work with, you kind of figure out what works best for you or what you like. So there's that. That could actually be a page in a journal, in a junk journal. Let's see, what else can I do? Maybe I'll ink the edges. I'll just go like this. Okay, so give it a little bit of a darker edge. And let's see what else. You know what, maybe I'm gonna use this guy too. And that was a super light impression. Maybe I should use my darker ink. No, that's fine. I kind of like that one. And then maybe right here. And there we go. There's one.